Today I want to do a little chit chat to encourage you ladies in the waiting season and also to dispel some wrong mindsets concerning the timing of when God is going to join you and your husband together, because some of you guys are being way too hard on yourselves. When I was single, I thought that there were several things I had to check off before God finally joined my husband and I together. But now looking back on it, I realized that I was wrong on several things. And so I wanted to talk about that with you. A wrong mindset I had was thinking that I needed to be 100% fully healed before I met my husband. Now, I'm not saying to not get healed. I'm not saying to not work on yourself. You should be doing that, right? A relationship can become destructive when you bring the new into the old. That's why Jesus said when you pour new wine into old wineskins, the old wineskins will burst. Or if you try to attach a new piece of cloth to an old piece of clothing, it's just going to tear apart. If we desire a healthy relationship, we should be seeking God for healing, forgiving those who have hurt us, letting go of bitterness, letting go of resentment, learning from our past mistakes so that we don't make the same mistakes again. And I even know personally people who went to therapy and that helped them out a lot. But, I don't think you need to be 100% fully healed from every pain, every trauma, every hurt that people have ever caused against you. Because if I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys, I was not fully healed when I met my husband. I can think of two particular things when it comes to that. The first one being that I was not fully healed from my previous relationship. If you guys remember, that was a relationship where my ex cheated on me and I never got full closure with that. He never told me why he cheated on me, didn't even apologize for it. And the times that he tried to come back into my life, tried to sweep everything under the rug. Like none of that ever happened. And so when I cut him off and never responded to him again, I actually met my husband 4 months since our last communication. And I have to say that meeting my husband healed me of all the residual pain that I had from the relationship, because he was everything that a man of God should be. And how I know I wasn't fully healed is that there were 2 occasions where I asked him for his phone randomly and went through everything. I went through his Instagram, his DMs, his text messages, his photo. I went through everything. And obviously I didn't find anything. But instead of him being annoyed with me or mad with me, like, oh, you should just trust me, la, la, la. Like, no, I only have eyes for you. You are the only one for me. And another reason why you may not be 100% fully healed is because some unhealthy responses won't come out until you're in this type of intimate relationship. For example, I grew up having a hot and cold relationship with my stepdad. And whenever him and I got into an argument, we would never resolve it. It would always be the silent treatment. And whenever he was ready to reconcile, there was never apologies between us. There was never a discussion about what had happened. Everything was just swept under the rug and life continued as usual. So when my husband and I, then boyfriend at the time, would argue, I would immediately shut down and just be quiet. I would withdraw. I was so used to no one listening to me anyways. And because I was also not used to expressing how I feel in the moment that I was upset, because there was never a conversation, it was when he would try to fix the situation in that moment, it would be hard for me to form the words and express how I felt in that moment because I wasn't even used to expressing it. My husband would literally have to wait patiently in silence for me to find the words to tell him what I was feeling in that moment. And now it's much easier for me to tell him what I feel, why I feel that way and all that stuff. But initially then I was so used to just squashing my feelings that I had to practice expressing myself. It was so strange. Meeting your spouse will challenge you in ways to better yourself that may not even be possible if you are by yourself. I have become better at asking for forgiveness, at giving an apology when I'm the one who's in the wrong. Another wrong mindset is the idea that you first have to accomplish this great, incredible goal before you meet your spouse. This comes with great intentions. When you meet your spouse, you want to bring value to the table. You want to be in the best position possible. I know for me, I wanted to be completely debt-free, own a real estate property, start a YouTube, start a business. Many of these goals require a lot of attention and dedication. And so you can get to thinking, okay, maybe God doesn't think that I can handle accomplishing this and having a husband at the same time. So I have to just finish this first before God thinks I'm qualified to have a husband. When the reality is that mindset can be rooted in a works mentality. You start thinking that you have to do all these things to earn a husband or to earn a wife, when in reality, a husband or wife is a gift from God. I met my husband when he was in law school. We were both working on our goals. And I have to say that us being together actually made these goals easier to obtain. This year, we were able to get our first home. Next month, we are gonna be officially credit card debt free. I was able to start a YouTube. Ecclesiastes says this: "Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up." Don't let years pass you by just because you want to be in this ideal position before you meet your husband. It is okay to meet them in the process, and building together is fun. Another wrong mindset is wanting to be perfect. Sometimes when you're out in the dating scene and you're not having great success, you can start thinking that something is wrong with you. Like, you can think, well, maybe I'm not pretty enough, and that's why I still don't have somebody. When I first moved to Miami, listen, I was in the home of the BBL. I remember going to the gym and starting to feel insecure because I felt super flat and too slim. Like, my breasts weren't too big. I would look at their butt and I was like, yeah, my butt is not to the level that they got going on over there. And I'm not just talking about people who had surgery, because there were people who worked for that booty. All you have to do is just go out in the streets of Miami and you will always see somebody running and working out because everyone's just trying to look good. And while that was very motivating for me working out, I was starting to think, okay, before I meet my husband, my body needs to look like this, my hair needs to be longer, my teeth need to be fully straight. And would you know, I met my husband with braces on and an irregular workout schedule. And he thought my body was perfect as far as he was aware. Sometimes we can get to the mindset where it's like, if I just had this, or if I look like this, or if I had that, then surely I would definitely be able to find a husband. But this is what Ecclesiastes says. It says, "I have observed something else under the sun. The fastest runner doesn't always win the race, and the strongest warrior doesn't always win the battle. The wise sometimes go hungry, and the skillful are not necessarily wealthy. And those who are educated don't always lead successful lives. It is all decided by chance, by being at the right place at the right time." So what does that mean? It means that you can do all these things to increase your chances of meeting a spouse, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't actually guarantee it. The prettiest women aren't all married. There are successful, career-driven women that are still single. There are still healthy, emotionally well women who don't have a partner. And sometimes these things can actually hinder you because pretty girl got so many options that she can't spot the good one from the bad one. Career-driven woman is so focused on her goals that she says no to a good man. Emotionally healed woman is so healed that she can't tolerate or give grace to someone good who is working on themselves. It says, it's all decided by chance, by being at the right place at the right time. And obviously, when we have God, He orchestrates that. He writes our love story. He will ensure that you are at the right place at the right time to meet your husband. It all comes down to obedience and God's personal timing. The Bible says that faith without works is dead, but then if you have works without faith, that's not good either. Whatever you feel led to work on, do those things, but do them having faith in God. trusting in his goodness, trusting in his faithfulness, knowing that he loves you and that he is going to give a husband to you out of the goodness of who he is. He is a father that cares for you and loves you. When I met my husband, I thought that I was going to be the best version of myself, only to realize that the best version of myself is always evolving, and it's the same for him. We are all growing and evolving together with God. So I hope this video encourages you all to enjoy the journey and know that God can bring your husband to you at any time. So do not limit his hand over your life. I'll talk to you guys soon.